Carolyn Doobie here. What's the play for today? Well, today I'm sharing another one of the ways that I rediscovered how to let myself play. And that's by acting like a kid. Kids know how to play, so if I act like one of those, I'll be playing too. One of the things I absolutely love to do is do things with abandon, with freedom, because that's one of the things kids do magnificently. When they are coloring and creating, they're not worried about, is it right, is it good, does it look like this, does it look like that? They just let themselves go. And that's what I'm going to be doing as I create this background, and then I'm going to show you how I take that background and turn it into a complete art journal page for this Let's Play video. Well, kids are masters of play. They know how to do it, and I am going to act like them to bring out the more playful side of me. Notice how I'm holding these oil pastels right there in my fist. I'm not holding them like a mature, grown-up adult that wants to have fine control over these. I'm just holding them in my fist and letting myself scribble. Now, why am I doing that? Because I'm not worried about what it looks like. Because you know what? When kids are doing this stuff, they're not sitting there overthinking going, now I wonder where I should put this line. No, kids just do. They just let it go. So I am just grabbing colors. I am just filling stuff in. I'm just letting myself play. Because this is what play looks like. It's fun. It doesn't have a lot of rules to it. I mean, basically I can't throw the oil pastels at people, but other than that, I can do just about anything that I want. Now these oil pastels, they happen to have been a box that I've had of them for a long time, haven't used them a ton, a couple of my backup and extra oil pastels in my favorite colors, but for the most part, these are supplies that I really haven't used in a very long time. So why not get them out and do something like this with it? If you happen to have any art supplies that you just have a bunch of that you haven't used in a while, I really encourage you to just get them out and start using them. Hold the pen, the crayon, the paintbrush, whatever it is you're using, just like a kid would in their fist, and just see what happens. Just feel the fun as you let yourself go, because none of this is right. None of this has to be good. None of this has to be perfect. What it has to be for me is fun. And letting myself go without thinking about things or worrying about them is absolutely fun for me. This totally puts me in a very, very playful mood. Now, this art journal background here, I've got all this scribbling, but what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with all of this scribbling? Well, that's what I'm going to show you next. Well, I want to capture the feelings that I've got going on right now. So to do that, I want a big word at the top of this page. You're going to be shocked by this word. I know. It's going to be the word play. And you're probably thinking you know how the word play is spelled, and it does not start with a Y. However, it does end with a Y. I am starting with the last letter in the word because I wanted the word anchored on the right side. So by starting with that last letter, then I'm sure that it will be there. That way I don't have to measure, figure out where things are. I mean, that just takes the fun out of it for me. Really kills the playful mood for me if I have to actually measure something. So that's again why I started with the last letter on the right side. And the stencil that I'm using is called Vintage Typewriter Alphabet that I created for over at StencilGirl Products. Now, as I looked at this with the play at the very top, all of a sudden I started to feel sort of a play manifesto coming over me. And you know what? If that's what's popping into my head, then that is absolutely what I'm going to do onto this page. I picked one of the words off of my uplifting word stencil, and then another one, to create the phrase, I choose. So that's stenciled, it's really bold, and now I want to do some writing on this. Well, these are all oil pastels, and most pens will not write on top of oil pastels. So I grabbed the Pico Embellisher. Basically, this is stuff that squirts out of a fine tip, and I am just scribble journaling what I'm choosing to do, how I'm giving myself permission to play, how I'm letting myself have fun. And after I get some of that written, I decide I want another stenciled word on here. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to follow that impulse, and I'm going to stencil another word. Yeah, and my fine liner stuff isn't dry yet, but that's okay. I'll just be careful in what I'm doing. I am going to stencil the word remember, also off of the same stencil, and I'm just going to kind of hold the stencil up so it doesn't press against the wet fine liner stuff. Well, I mean, it pressed against a little of it, but not all of it. So I'm just going to call that an oops, an outstanding opportunity presenting suddenly. Now, if you're enjoying this video, having fun with the play, and would like to know more ways to let yourself play, if you would like to jump into the free workshop called Permission to Play, if you would like some free downloadable sparks of inspiration, all that is waiting for you and more over on my blog at acolorfuljourney.com. So I'm going to do yet another word off of here, and as I'm doing it again, holding that stencil up so it doesn't end up in a lot of the Pico embellisher stuff, because it's not like I've given it any time to dry. But oh no, giant oops here. The T was not stenciled completely because of the way I was holding the stencil. Is that the end of the world? No, you've probably figured that out. It's just an outstanding opportunity presenting suddenly. And it was just so easy to fill it in with just a little bit of that Pico embellisher, and my T looks like a T again. Well, as I'm coming to the end of the page, my play manifesto is about to wrap up here. But if you'd like to see more of the Let's Play videos, if you'd like to see more of the ways that I have rediscovered how to play, I've got a bunch of those videos waiting for you. There's a link down below the video, or maybe even one popping up on the screen for you right now. And the last thing that this needs is my signature. After all, it is a manifesto. So I'm going to put one of my very neat and precise signatures here and call this page complete. Well, thanks for joining me for this play, and thank you for letting me be a part of your colorful journey.